What's happening, y'all? So the move that Trump make on Iran is going to disrupt the market this week. We can already see it in futures happening live. So with that, we're gonna look at a couple of things going on this week and see how we could take advantage of those opportunities. So I'm gonna go over a couple of things that we're seeing in the market. I already told you guys on a higher time frame we're bearish. Lower time frame we were bullish, but we could see that pullback happening already based on the news that's going on right now. So a lot of talks have been going on, and it's reflecting also in the market. So I'm gonna go over some market recap as far as what we did on Friday. I don't do the daily on Friday, so I kind of tie everything together to show you. On Friday, the market was really choppy, guys. So if you made out with profit, it's not bad or anything. That's a good thing if you made out with profit. I kind of broke my rule on Friday. I did 4 trades on Friday. I did 2 trades on QQQ, one on Microsoft, and then one on SoFi. SoFi faked us out. Microsoft gave us the profit right out the gate. If you notice right here, this was on Friday. Had a really good setup on Microsoft. Wait for the pullback to happen. So if you look at a 15-minute, this trade literally lasted for about 5 minutes. Took 35% on this trade right out the gate, and we was done. So saw the opening, we dropped back down, and then once we pulled back up and broke the day high, we was in that trade. That trade literally lasts for less than 5 minutes. We was up 35%. We took our profit right up at the resistance line. And then we had the new opening. I told everyone, hey guys, we can pull back based on the 15-minute candle, based on the 5-minute candle. We can pull back before we push back up. And we pulled back and we never got back to that level. So that's the importance of making sure that you take in profit right off the gate and not saying, okay, I'm up 35%. It's the first couple minutes of the market. I think the markets can run. So let me go ahead and hold on to it. You pull back and then you never saw profit again at that point on Friday on Microsoft. So that was a great trade out the gate on Microsoft. Got faked out. Had the similar setup on Microsoft like I did on Sophie. I kind of figured that there was going to be some type of fake out on Friday. It did the same exact thing as far as Microsoft. Pull back first, which I wanted to see the pullback, and then a break back to the upside. And once it broke, that was literally just a fake out. So it broke, which I got in, and literally afterwards we dropped, and then we just kept dropping at that point. And then right here, got out once we saw the break up there. So in any case, guys, you just have to know, like, there's going to be times where you'll get fake out. There's going to be times where your setup is there and things just don't go your way. Okay. And it's okay. Not every trade you'll win, but just knowing that you're taking your trade and you're taking your setup every single day instead of hesitating, you go ahead and take it. Now, if it's something where the spreads don't look right, things of that nature, then that's fine, right? There was one trade that I know we was looking at. I think it was it Uber on Friday as well? Let's see. Yes, it was Uber on Friday. So I was looking at Uber on Friday. Uber popped up, did a little bit of breakdown and then pop up, but I just did not like Uber as far as the spreads on Uber at the time. And I was like, yo, I'm not chasing at this point. And Uber, sure enough, faked everybody out just like that and then came all the way back down as well and breaking to the downside. Now, I am looking at Uber. This is one of the good setups for this week, which I'm going to touch on as well. But before I touch on that, I'm going to go over to the QQQ trades that we did. So Microsoft was a win for 35. We lost on SoFi. And then the first trade, we got similar situation, right? The first trade was right here on QQQ, as you guys could tell, right? This account is where we're doing a challenge on this account. I call it the Elfrida Challenge, which is my mom. My mom passed away in February, so I'm just doing this in a sense of a challenge naming her, right? There's people that call it small account challenge, whatever it is. With some people and they're doing small account challenge, they don't have a specific target that they're hitting. They're just trading and they're trading different things. With this, it's solely QQQ that I'm trading with this challenge, and I'm taking 10% minimum as far as profit every single day on this trade, right? So for this, This was the first trade of the day. Again, there was a lot of consolidation, which I didn't like, but I saw the break to the upside as far as on the 15 minute. Hopefully, this doesn't get rid of it. It did, didn't it? I know it didn't. Good. So saw the break to the upside on the 15-minute candle, took the trade, and then it went up, guys. Literally, it went up like 7% and then pulled back, and then it fell at that point, right? And then later on in the day, it did go up, hit that 10%. But I'm not staying in a trade and take a complete drawdown all the way down to here to where my account is down like 60, 70%. I'm not doing that. You gotta play it safe when you're talking about a small account. You don't want to blow up your account. So with this trade right here, got in the trade. I noticed that we wasn't moving much on the contracts, and that kind of give me the indication that all right, something needs to happen here. Is either we push up, but if we break, this is where I got out. If we break that 5 minute candle, which is this candle right here, so if we break this 5 minute candle, that means we're reversing back to the downside, which we surely did. And then that's where my stop loss was. Took a 20% hit on that trade. And this is where I was completely done for the day. And then I'm like, all right, I'm taking the next trade. And then we took this trade right here on QQQ again. This trade did run up for 30%. I trailed it and got out about 10% or so, or a little bit under 10%. But I trailed it. Everyone, I was telling everyone, I was looking for the break to target up here. But either way, I didn't get to the target. So that's why my account, 5 days in, we started the account with $1,000 last week, as far as last week, Monday. And now we were at $1,419, I believe, or $18 on Thursday going into Friday. And then we lost on that first QQQ trade, which kind of brought the account down a little bit. But going into next week, all we're doing is we're waiting and look for the proper setup before we get in trades, like I said. So now talking about this week, going into this week, there's a lot of things that's happening going into this week, guys, and you have to take a look at what's overall in the market, right? We're hitting a lot of levels as far as as far as the market concerns. I will touch back on Uber, but if you look at SPY, SPY is hidden on my trend line right here, right now. So a rejection off this trend line can bring SPY all the way back down and break to the downside. Now, we did not, I don't believe we did not break the monthly on SPY. So I am still bearish on SPY because we did not break the monthly on SPY, and we're hitting that trend line right here. Okay, we're rejecting that trend line right now. So we'll see what happens. Now, when the market open up tomorrow, we are going to gap down huge, right? And you have to think about the gap that we created a couple days ago in the week. You're talking about we gapped up significantly that day as well. Pulled back a little bit, but then we break up to the upside the following day and we didn't come down. So now we're hitting on this level right here. We have 1, 2, 3 touches, right? 1, 2, 3 touches right here. So then we can reject, come back down to the downside. But knowing that the news is already out, the market is already gapping down. So you're talking about we can come down. This is one thing I said, I believe on Thursday going into Friday. I said, listen, guys, we can come up, test this level. But for me to be any type of bullish, I want to see overall. Yes, we have to break that monthly, but I'm looking forward to it to come back down to test the 200 and then bounce off the 200. I always say with right here, the 200 is going to be that level. When we came up to the 200 on SPY, we gapped all the way above it. So in a sense, we can come back down, test this level, bounce off this level, and then push back up. That's one thing we could do. Or within this monthly time frame, we can realistically, we can just bounce around within this range and just consolidate until something major again happened with the news, where something along the lines of all right, war again, or all these other talks, right? So on QQQ, similar, but with QQQ kind of fake people out in a sense. I'll say call it a fake out because we crack above the month right here, which is showing bullish signs, right? We cracked above the bun Now, when CPI came out on Friday, CPI was kind of flat, but with the rates going down just a little on CPI, that will boost when you're talking about tech companies, tech stocks, that will boost tech companies up as far as that, right? So, because now they can borrow money for a little bit cheaper. So, with this pushing up, you had Nvidia pushed up as well, cracking the month on Nvidia. So that's expected of QQQ, but with all said and done, we're still, right? We are still creating a downtrend right here. Okay, we are still in a downtrend. So if you look at that right now, we are right at that level again where we could reject off that level. That's me drawing on a monthly, but right now we can go back down to that level where we could reject again. Okay, so once we reject off of here, we could literally drop all the way back down, and come down right to here. All right, so we're in a level right now. If you look left, there's a lot of rejection that came off of right here, so we could reject and come right back down, test the 200 or break under the 200 and continue down. We can consolidate, like I said, but if you look at the higher time frames as far as 3 months, within that 3 month time frame, we can consolidate. Okay, within this 3 month time frame, we can consolidate going into summer, and then summer, we could see something as far as a big move, or we could see that big move before summer even happens as well. All I'm saying is that you just have to pay attention to the market, trade on a daily basis. If you're swinging, make sure that you're taking something off the table as far as profit, because now you could be in a situation where you were in calls and you were profitable, and now news come out and now we gap down $10, and now you're no longer profitable, you're down in your trade. So I always tell people, make sure you're taking profit when it comes to those. Now, all of the ETFs are gonna look similar. I don't think all. Let's look at IWM. With IWM, similar, right? We have the same. We did not break the monthly yet. We still are creating lower highs. As you look at the monthly, we're still creating that lower highs. On the 3 month, we are consolidating within this range as far as on the 3 month, but we're still creating lower highs on here. And again, rejecting right here could bring us all the way back down. Okay, we did gap up. So is it nice if we come back down? Even if we do a retracement from the bottom down here to right up here, you're looking at a 618, or the 50% retracement is right down by close a gap, or the 382 right by close a gap. So you're looking for something to come down here. We're going to see what the market does tomorrow morning as far as the breakdown to the downside, with that. Now, as far as opportunities for this week, right? I just showed you one as far as Uber for opportunities for this week. We have a nice setup on Uber, to the downside. Okay, so Uber looks good to the downside. We have some consolidation within this range, but a break below the weekly, and we could see Uber push down and test, the week low, previous week low. But also, if you look, we could come down, break this month, and continue down to where 67 is, and possibly all the way down to a cycle level, which that point is going to be 65. Right? You always have to think about cycle level. Right now, we're at a cycle level at 70. We break below this 68, which is previous month. We break below the week can trigger into the month. So we break the week, we could trigger into breaking the month, and breaking into the month, we could go down at that point to the level of, 65. So you have the 67, like I said, right here, but then that next level, that next cycle level will be 65, right? So you have to pay attention to that. Now, once we break here, we're going to be creating lower lows, right? Right now we have lower highs. Right here, we're creating lower highs and back down, but we are within this range, right? We are within this range as far as we don't know exactly what can happen to this until we either break and continue down lower, or we could be creating higher lows if we don't break here. If we even come down to right here and then break back up, breaking this, then we would be in an uptrend, right? But as far as right now, we're creating lower highs off of right here. If we break the weekly, come down here, break the monthly, we're going to be back in that bearish standpoint at that point. So Uber looks good to the downside. A trade, so that will be a weekly trade, something that you could swing. Now, again, it is not financial advice. It's just I'm showing you a setup that you could possibly take. Something that I'm looking at going into this week as well. And then as far as tomorrow, QCOM looks really good as far as to the downside with QCOM. QCOM has been in a downtrend. Okay, we've been breaking down and we've been in a downtrend right here on QCOM. So I'm looking for QCOM to the downside as well. One of the things I hate, especially on the weekends, is when you chart up, you're ready, you're excited about a certain setup, and then Monday comes and your trade plays out. As soon as market open, market gap down or gap up and hitting your target. And then you're like, man, come on, man, right? So in that sense, if this happens where it plays out as soon as market open, then that's fine. There's always opportunities that's gonna create in the market. You just have to be patient, wait for your setup, and then you take the trigger. But I'm looking at QCOM as far as a break to the downside, coming down from that break at 127, come down and test VWAP. So we could test VWAP at the 126.8 level, but I'm looking for a break to continue down to the downside. If you look at the weekly is like, all right, we're within this range right now where we could bounce within this range. But also, if you look on the monthly time frame, we already break down for the month. Okay, so we break down for the month, we push back up. Market does not go straight up or straight down, so we're gonna have where we push down, come back up, but then guess what? We push back down again, create the lower low as far as that. So those are the two that I'll definitely say take a keep an eye out on. Tomorrow morning, it doesn't even make sense I say SPY, QQQ, or any of those because most likely we will gap down. If you look at the market right now, and I'm just going to go over to watch this Forex area. If you look at where the market is right now as far as daily on all of these, you'll see that market gap down, right? So US 30 will be Dow Jones, right? Or you're talking about if you trade in ETFs, this will be similar to DIA. So in a sense, we already gap down significantly right here. So that's going to reflect in the market tomorrow unless tomorrow we wake up and then Trump tweets something or okay, this is not the case and we're gonna fix it or we're gonna come to some other agreement, then we can pop right back up. But I don't see that happening. We're probably gonna push up. We can push up for tomorrow morning, right? So we're just gonna have to play and see what the market gives us. We're not here to guess. We're here to see what our setup is, and once our setup is there, we're gonna take the trade, right? So that's US 30. If you look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin has a new daily that's going in, but we dropped significantly. So, say for instance, Coin, Mara, Riot, all of those probably will gap down tomorrow. Looking at this, because we have a huge rejection from here, drop back down. But the good thing is we're above VWAP. So in a sense, we still can push up. Or tomorrow we can push up a little bit. Then the following day, pull back, then break back up to the upside, right? All of that can happen. So we just have to pay attention and play what the market gives us right now. If you see right here, we have all of these that is in an uptrend. So we can come down, right? Test this VWAP, bounce off of here and continue up because we're creating higher highs as far as Bitcoin, which I'm expecting Bitcoin to push back up. We are in a bullish trend on Bitcoin, right? So I'm expecting Bitcoin to push back up. We created lower highs right here, drop back down. We created higher lows, push up, break this right here. So we break that high. So now we're in a bullish standpoint again on the daily, right? Looking at it from a daily. Now on a weekly standpoint, weekly is still looking good. On a monthly standpoint though, we hit VWAP right here and reject off of VWAP. So unless we break above here and continue up and break this monthly at 76, we are still in a consolidation phase with Bitcoin and possibly can reject and come back down. All depends on how the market looks, right? Again, you just have to play what the market gives you. And then when it comes to NAS 100, this will be similar to QQQ. This will be similar to those type of stocks. It will be similar to QQQ as far as the ETF, right? So right now we're pushing back up. We have a huge gap down because of the news. We're pushing back up. Again, we will wait and see what the market gives us in the morning. And that's about it. SPY similar as far as SPX, um, similar as far as that as well. Everything gap down based on the news, but now we're pushing back up. So we'll see going into tomorrow morning what is gonna really happen. Now this pullback, in a sense, could be healthy, right? Could be a healthy pullback because right now with that pullback, if you look, we're on VWAP right here where we could push back up, right? So those are the things that you have to just pay attention to. Play what your chart gives you. Don't force a trade, guys. Don't fall for FOMO. Have the right mindset when you go in. Make sure you practice risk management and wait on your A1 setup. Once you see your setup, you take your trade, and that's about it. But guys, safe trading tomorrow. Uh, I'll see you guys. I have market recap tomorrow, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at market recap. Thanks again for watching Suddenly Signal.